we start at 0, okay, instead of starting at 1. And here are some of the reasons why. When you start at 0, okay, and you get all the way to 9, if you were to count every numerical symbol or figures there, starting at 0 to 9, how many figures do you see on the board? Count them. Let's count them. Here's the 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many in all? Figures, inscriptional symbols or inscriptional figures that are written there that identify as numbers. How many? You're right. It would be, as they would say in English, 10. Or we say in Graspmatyx, 10 figures. Okay? So why would you have 10 figures? Here's the reason why. Because 1 is not the starting number, 0 is the starting number. For example, if I start at 1 to 9, how many figures do you see on the board? Numerical figures or symbols do you see on the board? Right, 9. So therefore you can't write 10 because it wouldn't exist, you see. So it takes the 0 for the 10 they call 10 to exist. That is why in Graspmatyx, yours truly, Graspmathologist Dr. Yates, starts at 0 and full encourages others to do the same. So 0 is the starting number. Alright? Now, that is the reason why after 9 comes now the 2 figures, or what we call the double numbers or digits, which would be 10. But how do you write this 10? Simple. Remember, 0 is the starting number. So when I get to 9, okay, I'm just repeating the symbol, but this time in 2 digits. So I have to use my starting number, which is 0. You see it right over the 9. And I'm going from right to left. And then now I use, after the 0, I use the 1. See? 0 starting, 1. 1 means first, but 0 means beginning, okay, or starting number. So we start now, okay, at the 1, because we already used the beginning number or the starting number, which is 0. So now we use the 1 as how we get 10. When we read from left to right, we say 10. But really it's 0, 1. That is why you find that as the code in computer system. When you normally type in your name, right, password and all that, the computer reads it all in numerical code as 0, 1. That's where they get the idea of the 0, 1 in the computer system, because of the 2 starting number, which is actually the beginning number, and the starting number 1, 0, 1. That is the reason why it is so important in Graspmatyx to always reiterate or to emphasize the purpose of identifying 0 as a number. Actually, it's more than a number. It is the number, meaning starting. 1 is a number, 2 is a number, 3 and 8, and so on. But 0 is really the number, meaning the starting point of all numbers. Or, as I like to put it, 0 is the womb, the mama, mama womb of all numbers. Out of the number 0, all numbers come out. In other words, she gave birth. 0 is in this case being identified as she, the mother, or she, the woman, or she, the creator. I know some of you might be a little worried about that terminology Dr. Yates used, but when you learn the math, you'll see how logical and practical it makes sense. Because the only person I can know that gives birth, all right, as human beings, and even most of the animals, is she, the female. And out of her womb, which is the shape of the 0, all babies do form and come out. That's why we use this terminology that 0 is she, all right? She, the life giver, she, the one that gives birth, she, the creator, she, the maker, etc. That's why we use it in that text and not context. So 0 here is identified as what? The mother, okay, of all numbers. So out of her we get 1, 2, 3, and so on. Then you'll learn in the Graspmatyx way of counting, we say 0, and before we get to 1, we also include the fractions and decimals. This is very important. So you'll learn a lot here in this program. First of all, you have to learn, which is best, to learn about the personality, character of numbers. Also learn how to count perceptionally, rhythmically, and based on reasoning. Remember those three principles I just mentioned there? Perception, reasoning, and rhythm. Of Graspmatyx, learn how to count perceptionally, rhythmically, and based on reasoning. Okay, so we start at 0, and then we end up at the number 9. Dr. Yates says the highest number in the world is not infinity. Actually, I say the highest number in the world is 9. What I do not say that the highest number is infinity or Google or numbers never stop and they go on. I've been told that in the British school system and the American school system. When you ask for the highest number, they give you all kind of different answers. It's never the same answer. That tells you they do not K-N-O-W. Now, the highest number is 9. Why? Because you're starting at 0 and then you go into 9, and after 9 you're just repeating the numbers now based on 2 digits, 3 digits, 4 digits. Like, for example, 10, then after 99, 100. You see, that's the 3 digits. Okay? Just repeating the numbers. We do not change the name of the figures either. It is kind of silly. Or, I use the word silly for the children, but for adults, I use the word preposterous. It is very preposterous to identify the same figures giving it a different name. For example, if you notice here on the board, right, we start at 0 and we go all the way to 9. This is called the rule of measurement or the rule of counting. 0 to 9, not 1 to 10. Okay, 0 to 9. For example, if I start at 1, how would I write 10? And if you say, simple, 10, and I said, okay, I'll ask you, where did the 0 come from? And why you're using 0 to write 10? When previously or before, okay, the 9 and the 8 and the 7 and the 6 and the 5 and the 4 and the 3 and the 2 and the 1, there were no 0, it didn't exist. So why you're using it now to create the figure, as you say the number, 10, they call 10. That is not logical, okay? That is the reason why when we start at 0, we can logically explain, or yes, why we write the number or the figure 10, they call it in English 10, with the 0, because it existed. It's before, like the 1 existed before, and the 2 existed before. That we have 20 for what they call 20 in English, and 30 they call 30. And 40 they call 40, and 50 they call 50, and 60 they call 60, and 70 they call 70, and 80 they call 80, and 90 they call 90, so on. So this is the reason why I emphasize strongly about teaching our children and adults to start at 0 when counting, and never to say that infinity is the highest number, or Google is the highest number, or there's no highest number. There is. Why? Because the question is asking for the highest one? Number. It never said numbers. Number. And this is the single digit, single, 0 to 9. So after 9 now, we're just going into 2 digits. We're going to numbers. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's how simple that is. Did you hear the rhythm in the way Dr. Yates was counting? Okay, let me do it again, all over. This time I'm starting at 0 because that's my starting number. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8, 1, 9, 2, 0. You see the rhythm and the pattern? I didn't change the name of the figures. I didn't call the 0 something else. I didn't call the 2 something else. For example, in the British and American school system, I was taught to count like this, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.